This is a tabletop review of the PTR Precision Target Rifle 9KT. Shout out to Nut and Fancy. I've been a fan of the Nut and Fancy project for about 7 years. Started watching in 2011, and most of how I go about doing this gun review video is a direct use of the methods used by Nut and Fancy, and if I do some things wrong, that's on me. But if you like it, it's probably because I'm using Nut and Fancy's format. It's a great format, and if I try to do better, I'd probably wind up back in the same place. So just want to give credit there. Thanks Nut and Fancy for the format here. Let's take a look at the feature set of the 9KT made by Precision Target Rifle. If you're looking at your screen thinking, hey man, that's an HK MP5, you're not far off. That's exactly what this is, but it's made in America by Precision Target Rifles, or PTR for short. Now, first things first, this weapon is empty. We're on an open chamber with an empty magazine. The PTR 9KT comes with two 30-round magazines. They're metal, and we did bash these around a little bit in our field testing. We've put about 675 rounds through this weapon so far. Seen a little bit of wear on the feed lips, but nothing unusual. It comes with iron sights, which if you've ever bought an AR-15, I'm sure you'll appreciate, because not all weapons these days come with iron sights, and I'm one of these people who likes to have good old iron sights adjusted and ready to go. These iron sights are elevation adjustable and windage adjustable. There's 4 different notches you can use by rotating this castle looking rear sight. Everything from an extremely wide notch to an extremely narrow notch. And the detents are very strong in this. You're not going to accidentally bump off of the notch that you wish to be using. Obviously, the wider notch gives you a little bit quicker target acquisition, and the narrow notch gives you a little bit more accuracy, depending on your skill, of course. The front sight is neither windage nor elevation adjustable. One of the things I like about the PTR 9KT is it does come with a section of Picatinny rail very neatly welded to the top of the firearm. The original HKs, of course, did not have that and required the claw mount. Moving towards the front, there's an M-lock rail included with the firearm. Unfortunately emblazoned pretty largely with PTR, but it's not the least stylish thing I've ever seen. There's a handguard here, also branded PTR, which is a good idea for a weapon this short, just to help you remember that's where the hand stops because the muzzle is right here. It has both the classic signature HK 3-lug mount as well as the threaded barrel in 1/2 by 28 threads. If you look at the Heckler & Koch version of this, the SP5K, it actually comes with a shroud over the barrel, and there's no ability to add muzzle devices to the Heckler & Koch version, and it costs a lot more. So that's a big bonus for the PTR 9KT. Let's talk a little bit about philosophy of use. What in the world are you or anyone going to do with this gun? Well, I'll tell you what I think is an excellent philosophy of use for this gun. It's truck gun. It's very small and compact. It can fit into some of these vaults that you see that go into the consoles of your larger trucks or under the back seat. And it's something you can have on hand with which you can sustain accurate fire longer at short to medium distances. We're talking 5 to 75 yards here, in particular when equipped with an arm brace or even using the equipped QD cup here with a sling. You can add quite a bit of stability to this firearm. There's a QD cup here for the sling, and there's also 2 screw holes here, and there's an included Picatinny rail that comes with this pistol that allow you to mount an arm brace, or should you choose to SBR this item, you could mount a stock. So you can get quite a bit more accurate fire due to the longer sight radius, the ability to easily mount red dot sights, and to use arm braces or stocks or slings to add stability. Plus you have the extra gripping space. You have the rear and the front grip, as opposed to a handgun where most of your grip is concentrated on the rear on the single grip. As far as firepower, obviously the firepower on the 9KT is going to be very limited compared to almost any rifle. However, it's still better than just a handgun. And again, due to its compact size and the philosophy of use of truck gun, it's a great firearm to have on hand rather than having just a handgun. However, there is a drawback here. It offers more firepower than a handgun. It can be properly equipped, more accurate than a handgun. But what's the cost? Nothing comes for free, right? Well, let's jump into size and weight considerations. The number one drawback I would say with this PTR 9KT is this thing is heavy, guys. This thing weighs in at 5 pounds 1 ounce. That's with an empty magazine. By the time you put a loaded 30-round magazine into this guy, you're pushing the weight of a fully loaded AR-15, okay? Now, it is more compact than the AR-15, and for the philosophy of use of truck gun, more compact may fit your requirements. But if you have room for an AR-15, why not carry the AR-15? It's even more firepower, it's even more accurate. Well, to be perfectly honest, for me, that comes down to second cool. Not only does this fit where I want it to fit, it has a lot of second cool factor for me. I can remember looking at the MP5K in my young teenage years thinking it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And I still think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So for me, particularly as a truck gun, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a pass on the size and weight considerations because it's something that I just enjoy. Your mileage may vary. It is not a featherweight. While we're talking about size and weight considerations, let's move it straight into ergonomics. For me, the grip angle is quite good. And if you don't like it, you have a problem because this is basically impossible to change. The grip modules for the HK MP5K are pretty well set in this manner. There's some weird dimples on the grip here and here on both sides, which don't really interfere with my grip, but they do bother me a bit. My thumb is resting on this one, and then the one on this side is underneath my middle finger here. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of those dimples is, but I'm not a big fan. I'm actually considering filing them off, but I'm afraid I might wind up with a hole through the grip if I do that. As far as the safety lever, it's a bit of a stretch for my medium to large size hands. We have 3 settings here: safe, semi, and semi. There is no full auto on this particular firearm. Both settings are semi-automatic. Don't ask me why they have the second setting there. Maybe to accommodate an NFA registered sear. I'm not sure. The fore end on this gets really hot. So if you're putting a high volume of fire through this, you may want to consider wearing gloves. It's comfortable. I find myself wanting to grip the mag well. This feels less natural to me. But either grip is a possibility, but you will find that there's a lot of heat in this area. This gun is all metal and it does generate a lot of heat, particularly in this area here, where the top of your hand is bound to wind up. Let's talk cost. The PTR 9KT clocks in at about $1,800 as you see it. The pistol with 2 mags, a hard case, a sight adjustment tool, and a bungee sling that you're pretty much going to throw in the trash. The case is nice, the sight adjustment tool is necessary, the mags are good, but it's $1,800. Additional mags are going to set you back anywhere from $40 to $100 if you're looking at metal magazines. If you're talking about adding accessories like an arm brace, that's another $200. If you don't already have a suppressor, you're looking at $800 and up by the time you pay the tax stamp. Red dot sights, $200 and up. So fully equipped, it's a really pricey gun. That being said, if you're like me and you're really stuck on the HK MP5 look and feel and accuracy, it clocks in at $800 less than the HK version. And the HK version, the SP5K, as I mentioned before, does not give you any options for a muzzle device. So for $800 less, you get the MP5 second cool with a lot more first cool functionality in terms of muzzle device options. Now we come down to likability, overall likability and recommendations. Well, as of right now, I cannot recommend to you that you buy this firearm. As much as I love it, and I bought this one brand new about 2 weeks ago, the serial number is under 400 on this one, so it's one of the very first ones made. We've put over 675 rounds through this, and that includes 3 different brands of 115 grain full metal jacket, Winchester, Sig Sauer Elite Performance, and Cellular and Bellite. We also put a number of Winchester Super Suppressed 147 grain full metal jacket bullets through here. And on average, we cannot get more than 3 shots out of this without a failure to extract, leading to a failure to chamber. What's happening, and we'll roll in the footage at the end of this review, is the weapon is not fully ejecting the empty. The bolt is closing on the empty while at the same time picking up a new round. And so what you wind up with is, when you remove the mag, you wind up with both an empty shell and a loaded cartridge inside the action. So this pistol, I should say, is on its way back to PTR as soon as I finish this video. For warranty repair. Now, PTR has already told me that using a suppressor on this weapon voids the warranty. Now, I asked them, why did they design a weapon with a 3-lug mount and 1/2 by 28 threads if they did not intend for the end user to use muzzle devices? Their response was, well, we expect that people will use suppressors on this, but we simply can't warranty something that has parts on it that we do not manufacture. So I understand their point of view, but at the same time, this is an $1,800 firearm, guys. It will not function suppressed or unsuppressed on 4 different types of ammunition. That is unacceptable. Now, so far, PTR has been very helpful. They've sent me a postage label free of charge to ship the gun back to them, and we'll see how it works when we get it back. But honestly, guys, I have to say, at $1,800, I don't think I could be much more disappointed than I was after going to the range, not once, but twice, and being unable to get this gun to function properly. And that was after following PTR's recommended break-in procedure, where you fire a number of rounds and then clean it, and then fire a number of rounds and then clean it. I didn't follow the procedure exactly. They dictate 10 to 20 rounds between cleanings, and I went something more like 100 to 150 rounds between cleanings. But it's a brand new firearm, guys. Okay, $1,800. It should just work, and it should work with all factory ammunition. A couple other things I'll point out on the PTR 9KT. When I received this firearm, this hole here that's drilled through the body of the action here, when it was drilled through, it was drilled so roughly that there was an edge here where you see this shiny metal. It was so sharp it actually was cutting me to touch it. So I actually had to take a file and file a sharp edge off of the action of this gun to keep it from cutting me. I likewise found sharp edges on all of the seams, on all of the plastic on this firearm. So again, for $1,800, despite all the good things about it, which we covered earlier in the review, it is not reliable, and the fit and finish for the price point was very poor. So I'll go ahead and roll in some of the footage of some of the problems we were having at the range.
Ready when you are.
So we had another extractor get hammered on top of the one it picked up. So again, we got a live round picked up, but the eject never came out, and they got stacked up on top of each other again. Still got 2 rounds in the mag. Once again, same issue. So this time, the eject got caught between the action and the bolt, and never picked up the next round.
Last round.
So we still have about 5 rounds in the mag. Once again, picked up a live round, but the empty didn't get extracted and got stacked on top of it.
Ready when you are.
So here we have a failure to eject fully, and if you look inside there, you can see it did pick up another round, but it wasn't able to push it home into the chamber because of the empty not being ejected. And this time we've got a lockup on the gun. Okay, I was able to force it open there.
Same thing.
Okay, got another failure to eject. Looks like we did pick up another round, but it never made it to the chamber. And observe that every time we're following the instructions with how we chamber it, so shouldn't be any issues there. Empty mag. Not sure what kind of failure we have here. Yeah, typical of what we've seen. Failure to chamber due to a failure to extract. Again, failure to extract fully causes failure to chamber. You getting bored? I'm getting bored.
Yep.
Okay. Empty mag. Empty mag.
Okay.
Failure to extract fully, resulting in a failure to chamber. So much for that theory. Yes. I think we just got lucky, my friend. All right, I'm going to try it with no hand anywhere near the mag. Empty mag. No hand near the mags. Looks like we've got a failure to chamber here. Got a loose round caused by failure to eject. Again, continuing with no hands near the mag. Still got rounds in the mag. Had another failure to chamber due to failure to extract. $1,800 PTR. Right there. Empty mag.
Ready when you are.
All right. Made it most of the way through that bag. Empty mag. Had a failure to chamber that actually crushed that bullet further into the case. Now, had that not been noticed and had been chambered, could cause an overpressure event.
Second one that's done that on today.
Yep, second one.
All right.
So if you look carefully inside here, you can see a failure to extract. You can see another round's been picked up, but it's not making its way into the chamber. There's the round that didn't make it in. There's the failure to extract. Getting smashed up pretty good when that bolt slams on it. Not putting any pressure on the magazine at all. Failure to chamber due to failure to extract.
Did it push that one in?
Yeah, I think it may have pushed that one in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good catch. Almost didn't catch that one. Well, can't say the accident's not violent. Apparently violence still doesn't solve things.
Yeah.
All right. No pressure on the mag whatsoever. Got a failure to eject here. You can see one is almost chambered in there. There it is. That one didn't get smashed. Still got rounds in the mag. I'm hoping we'll get one of those failures we got earlier where the brass actually got jammed between the bolt carrier and the bolt, and you almost have to disassemble the gun to fix that one. Well, I did have to disassemble it one time. No pressure on the mag at all. May have gotten my wish here. Mag still got rounds. Yeah, so it's actually jammed between the bolt and the bolt carrier, and this is almost impossible to get out without tools. So the gun will not run at this point. Before we close out, I'll just mention some of the cast members here on the table. This is the Microtech SOCOM Elite M390 steel, one of the best actions of any knife you can get as far as manual actions go. And we have the Guardian Recon 035 out the front in their black wash CPM 154 steel. I've owned a lot of out the front knives from HK made by Benchmade, from Microtech such as the Ultratech and the Halo, and I have to say this is by far my favorite out the front knife, Guardian Tactical. Got a little bit of a skateboard tape mod here to get it out of the pocket, as well as a lanyard. Excellent, excellent out the front, highly recommend. And the watch for today's review is the Resco RTAC GMT. Has a Swiss quartz movement, made in Coronado, California, the body and the rest of the watch. And you can track 2 different time zones with this watch with a 24-hour time zone on the outer bezel. And then finally, my everyday carry flashlight, the Surefire Backup.